able to join me live, we can also have a conversation here. But to start with, I wanted to share with you on the not a topic, but something that I discovered recently, which is the fact that there is a way in which there's a way that African, no, 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 not, let me not use the African because there's an African event. So I have that in my head. But again, what I'm just here to talk about is how exactly do there's a way in there's something that happens when you come abroad, which is the fact that you pay taxes as an international student, and after a year the taxes you have paid accumulate in such a way that you get to, how do I put this, like they pay you back money for paying your taxes. So you come to the US as an international student, you pay taxes, you pay bills, power bill, water bill, you buy stuffs at the grocery, you do grocery shopping, you buy stuffs, you donate, buy books, whatever. At the end of your first year, guess what happens? You get this benefit, which is you get to be able to receive tax returns. And this tax returns comes, it can be as much as $3,000, 2005, or even more than 3,000. People get less, people get more, depending on how much they spent or their entire tax accumulation. So why is this even important, and why should you even care about what I'm sharing today? The reason why I'm sharing this is because a lot of people think that, so the thing, I mean, as a matter of fact, when you come abroad, what you get paid on a monthly basis isn't so much money. But of course, if you use the money they give you, like you give it back to the system, that's the way it is. At the end of your first year, you get your tax, which, if you plan well, can be used in buying a car. I mean, you can get a small car of 3,000. And if you're business oriented, you can use that same money and add some money to it, and then you use it to support your business. And so I have been here for about a year now, and luckily I got my tax returns a couple of weeks, not couple of weeks, days ago. And the idea is I don't intend to use that to buy a car or any liability. The goal is to use it as an asset, and assets, and invest and do something meaningful with it. So I feel like, oh, it makes sense to share that important information with anyone who is, one, planning to come study abroad, or is thinking, okay, what does it look like when you're an international student or an African student schooling abroad, and then you're like, okay, how do I benefit from this tax madness? Because one of the concerns I had when I came here was the fact that everything you buy, you pay tax. Everything you buy, you pay tax. Everything you buy, you pay tax. You buy an item of $3, and then you pay tax of maybe 0.56 cents, or you buy an item of $10, and then you're paying about $1 for, as tax on that $10 product. It can be really crazy and annoying, but I'm just here to tell you that one good thing is the system rewards efforts, or what you put in. So if you spend the money you're paid, like your assistantship stipend or your scholarship stipend or whatever, you still get to make some money, how out of it at the end of the day. And as long as you remain in the system, every year you get tax returns every year. So the turnover would be another year, and then another year, and then another year. Now, there's something really interesting about this principle that I just thought about now, and I think it would, make sense to just quickly talk about it while I'm waiting for some folks to join me on StreamYard, on Restream, if they are able to. So one important principle that I just learned from the way in which the system works here, which I think is important to learn as any as for anyone who is interested in becoming a better person. The idea is, when you're paying the price, for something, it's not convenient. You might feel sad. You might be, oh, I don't like this. This does not make sense. Why should I be paying this? Why do I have to suffer? Or why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to endure this? The idea is there is no gain without pain. There is no repaying, no reward. There is no harvest without you first investing. You can't have if you do not give. And so, literally, if I did not pay my tax, okay, or taxes throughout the year, there is no way I would have gotten that free money. When I was getting the money, it felt like, wow, this is good money, right? But I paid the price. But for someone who did not know or who doesn't know about the accumulation, the person would think maybe I'm just lucky. But it wasn't really luck. He was just consistently putting in something into the system. And so the same principle applies when you're hoping to achieve anything. If you cannot give, you cannot take. If you don't push, you cannot. The universe will not bring in your direction what you want. Now, let's even make this even more practical. I'm going to like break this down and talk about how this relates to the things that I love to talk about and that I am passionate about. Let's talk about how this, impacts you as someone who is suffering or going through childhood trauma or a victim of, intimate partner violence or domestic violence generally. You see, there's this thing that comes with you not making efforts. It's comfortable to just stay in your comfort zone. It's comfortable to not want to, like, push or get better or think about the possibility of a new life without abuse, because it's comfortable to just accept a norm. It is your comfort zone. You don't tend to want to challenge your comfort zone. But when you're challenging the norm or your defaults, there's this aggression that may come from outsiders and it might even come from you. You may get, like backlashes of, you may get reactions like, "Ah, why are you doing this? You shouldn't be doing this. This doesn't make sense. Why should you be talking about this? Why should people know what you're going through? Why should you speak up? Or why should you talk like that to your boss or to your pastor?" You get backlashes from people. Now, what I'm trying to say here is, usually, when you're trying to do something that at the end of the day might be rewarding, you might not be comfortable with it. You as a person might not be comfortable with that, you know, action or set of actions, or people as a group might not be comfortable with that decision that you're making. Not one decision, like a daily decision that you're making. So think about this when it comes to your physical health as well. You might decide to say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to do junks. I just want to take water. I want to do this. You would criticize yourself because you would ask yourself, why should I be doing this? The same way people around you would say, why should you be working out? Why should you be trying to lose the fat? Why not? I mean, why shouldn't you? But at the end of the day, when you lose that fat, when you have that flat tummy, that good body, and then you look so good, and people are like, wow, you made it look so easy. But as a matter of fact, was it easy? You paid the taxes, right? You paid the taxes. If you do not get to pay the taxes, you cannot get the tax returns. If you do not pay the taxes, you don't get the tax returns. Your taxes might be, I'm done taking this nonsense from this abusive wife or husband. I'm done taking this shit from this abusive pastor, and I'm going to leave this church. People might say, nobody's leaving this church. Why do you want to leave this church? People might say, nobody's leaving this mosque. Why do you want to leave this mosque? It might feel that way. You might think that you're going against the norm and you shouldn't. Why not? Why not? Think about the people who have done what they should do, who have paid their taxes, and begin to imagine a life like that where you get your tax returns. Your tax returns from for someone living an abusive relationship might be, oh, you then meet an amazing guy or an amazing lady who loves you, who makes you happy, makes you feel complete. The tax returns for someone who is living a toxic religious space might be you then joining another religious space where everything is just good. And then it feels like, do I really belong here? You belong because you have paid the taxes, right? For someone who is looking to start a business, or you even like you have a business, right? And then people are like, you finished from school, you graduated, you finished with a first class, a 2-1, and then why are you doing this kind of job? Or why are you doing this type of business? Why are you sewing? Why are you making beads? Meanwhile, I made this bead today in preparation for an African event coming up tomorrow. And I have some other ones that I just made. When I was learning all of the skills back home, it felt like, okay, you finished with a first class. Why should you be doing all of those things? Why should you do things with your hands? So for anyone who is enterprising, who has a mobile skill, my like what I'm saying to you today is understand one thing: you must pay the taxes. If you don't pay the taxes, you don't get your tax returns. So think about life as a place where what you give out is what you take. You might not get the reward like as soon as you want it, but one thing is sure: you will get your reward, whether it is good or whether it is bad. So, will you pay the good taxes so that one, your business at the end of the day will be that will be sought after? So that when you're getting the returns for investing, for persisting, for the sleepless night, making sure that that business idea sees the light of the day, grinding and pushing and ensuring that you do not give up, paying the taxes in those during those sleepless nights, burning candle lights, racking your head, thinking and strategizing and planning, depriving yourself of pleasures just to put funds together to what? Make sure that idea sees the light of the day, paying those taxes. And then at the end of the day, you get the returns because you have done your work, you have put in the efforts. It's a natural law. I mean, God doesn't take back his principles. God doesn't take back our principles, right? Those are constant laws, they never change. They don't change. If you pay the taxes, you get your tax returns. If you don't pay your taxes, you never get anything. And so, lastly, think about this and think about your plans to study abroad as a scholar looking to, study abroad. One of the things that you would face is rejection or rejections and then rejections and then rejections. And then you begin to feel like, oh my God, will I ever get fully funded? Come and ask me. You just keep feeling like you're worthy, you can get things done, you're not good enough. There's that feeling that comes when you're trying and you're not getting the results that is commensurate to the effort you're making. And it's okay to feel that way because if you do not pay the taxes, how then do you get the tax returns? So the taxes might come in form of rejection letters from schools. The taxes might come in form of you not even having enough money to pay application fees, or you having to borrow, or people calling you names saying, can't you just stay back and just do your master's here? Are you the only one? Must you be too ambitious? Must you dream? Or you're a mother, you shouldn't be dreaming. You're a wife, you should not have goals. Or you are a young guy, why must you go abroad? Or push, push, push. Why don't you just stop? Like, how many people are making it? It's just a lie. Not many people are getting to move abroad. Hey, Omolara, Vivian, good to have you here. So there's this feeling that we all get, and then we feel like we're not good. We can't get things done. How many do you know the number of people that are 40 plus that are not getting scholarship? But do you know the number of people that are 40 plus who are also getting fully funded? But you see, if you do not pay your taxes, you can't get results. Your taxes are not what you pay once. You pay your taxes consistently. I repeat, you must pay your taxes consistently before you can get a tax return or tax returns that is commensurate with the effort you have put in. Just like the US would pay you back for paying your taxes to the country at the end of a year, and then you get the returns, life, the universe, God, Eledumare, Ubangiji, whatever you call God, would what? Pay you back for whatever it is you do. If you put in the efforts and you work on your application to study abroad, you would get it. There is no village people anywhere. As long as you're consistent, as long as you're willing to make efforts, as long as you're pushing, except you're giving up, except you're doing nothing, except you tell yourself that, you know what, I'm done. I can do this. You don't pay your taxes once and get big returns. You pay consistently. That's the word. And so that's the difference between when you're fired up and motivated and then you do nothing. There is a difference. Think about it. God is here, and everything you need to succeed, every clarity you need to leave that toxic relationship, toxic work relationship, family relationship, or whatever toxicity you find yourself, you've got that inside of you. And you must consistently check in and keep getting clarity. Keep working on yourself. Keep becoming a better person. Keep working on your healing before you can live that life where you're happy and you're truly full and fulfilled. Okay, if you don't do the same for your business is going nowhere. What you give energy to, the universe will respond. And when you get a response, is results, results, and results. There is no magic. There is no magic. There is no abracadabra. There is no wizard, witchcraft, or any power that is greater than God's power that is going to stand. There's this thing they say about there is no force on earth that will stand against a man or woman that is convinced about something. If you're convinced and you're not going back, and every day you walk towards that destination, that good health, that good body, that life devoid of toxicity, that life devoid of childhood trauma or trauma of any kind, that life with a person that deserves you, that abundance, that wealth, that good money from your good effort, that scholarship, you would have what you want. But remember, you must pay your taxes. If you don't pay your taxes, you get nothing. I repeat, if you don't pay your taxes, you get nothing. If this content has been useful to you, please make sure to share. Make sure to visit my website to find out what I do and how I can support you. My website is www.bisola-Mariam.com, and I look forward to having you visit my website, find out more about me, the way I can help you, and most importantly, if there is need for you to think about working with me privately on a one-on-one, my website is the best place to get all the information about available coaching programs or other things that I am working on. And I'm so happy and grateful that I got the chance to be able to share this with you. I hope this resonates with you, and please share if this made some sense. And abundance is here, there is no lack. Meanwhile, there is a place where you can get my attention easily. It's on my email list. So if you're watching on Instagram, simply go to my mailing list The way to do that is just click the link on my bio, and that way you get to jump on my email list. And if you're watching on other platforms, simply subscribe to my newsletter. And to do that, simply go to substack.com/Bisola-Mariam. Substack, substack.com/Bisola-Mariam. Thank you so much. Abundance is here, there is no lack. And God bless you. Take care. Okay.